Welcome to Khanversations. I'm Muqtedar Khan, and today I'm going to talk to you about a phenomenon which is becoming quite prominent. In fact, for the past few years, people have been talking about this and its impact, especially on democracies, on conflict zones, on interracial, interethnic, interreligious relationships. And this is the phenomena of disinformation campaigns on the social media. People spreading lies to increase tensions between communities, people spreading lies as a form of psychological operations. They're called psyops, to demoralize enemies in warfare. With the rise of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, we have seen a lot of disinformation being shared, sometimes very sophisticated, use of artificial intelligence and use of deep fakes in order to produce false information to misguide people. All of these phenomena are quite common, and we are beginning to see the direct consequences of such events in our daily life. And I'm going to address one of these issues, but before that, do subscribe to Khanversations, like this video, and press the bell icon. I also shared an article in the group, in the community section of the YouTube page, which talks about the plight of old people in India who are getting, these aged people are being abandoned by the families, and this phenomena apparently has increased manifold. It is an old situation where people used to abandon their parents when they could not afford to keep them, but now this is becoming very common and people are dying on the streets. There are some NGOs which are trying to address these people who have been abandoned by their families and have no source of income. And so I want to raise more awareness about it. So please stay tuned. And if you have any information, do share it with me. I do want to talk to people who are running homes for the aged who have been abandoned. And so I want to push that cause through my channel, and we'll talk about it more and more once I do find somebody who can talk about it with more facts than that is available in the few articles that I have been able to find on the internet. But anyway, coming back to the issue that I wanted to discuss today, there are riots happening in England, now spreading to many cities, including Cardiff and Manchester and other places, but it started in Southport, United Kingdom. What essentially happened was a young man, aged 17, went to a place where children were learning to dance and do yoga, and he basically stabbed several people, and 3 of the children he stabbed died. Their names are BB King, who was 6 years old, Elsie Dot, who was Stancombe, who was 7 years old, and Alice De Silva Aguiar, who was 9 years old. 8 other children were injured, and 2 adults also who tried to help them were injured by this young man who was only 17. And because he was only 17, according to the British law, if you are less than 18, your name is not revealed to the public. And in the absence of his name being revealed to the public, the social media really went to town. They essentially blamed illegal immigrants, they blamed immigrants, and they also blamed Muslims. And all kinds of false information was shared on Twitter and Telegram, on various channels, especially of right-wing hate groups. In UK, there seem to be more and more right-wing hate groups. I don't know why we don't call them all terrorists. So these hate groups gathered together and they went on a rampage. They tried to destroy a mosque, they vandalized it, and they burned cars, they burned vans, and they destroyed a lot of property in Southport. And those riots are spreading as more and more lies are being sent on social media. It's not just that ordinary people are indulging in this. Even leaders who are supposed to behave in a more responsible fashion are also partaking in disinformation. And in this particular case, the MP Nigel Farage, associated with Reform Party, I mean, the party itself is an extreme right party. And during the elections, it performed very well to win 4 seats in Parliament. In the British Parliament this time, at the expense of the Tories, really. So you can see basically traditional conservatives are becoming more and more right-wing. And the main issue is the challenge of multiculturalism. They are opposed to migration, and they essentially have become very hateful to anybody who is not white or Christian. So Nigel Farage also accused the government of hiding facts, hiding the fact that the perpetrator was either an immigrant or an illegal immigrant or a Muslim. And so they went on. Eventually, a judge gave permission to release the name. The name of the perpetrator is Axel Rudakubana. He was born in England, and the only country he lived all his life was in England. Born, brought up, and shall we say, produced in English, made in England. And this guy's parents are from Rwanda, but he's a British product. And he's not Muslim, obviously, and he's not an immigrant, and he's not illegal either. So this disinformation that was spread is continuing. The violence is continuing in Britain. Even 50 police officers who have been doing a great job have been brutally attacked by these thugs. The Prime Minister is calling them gangs of thugs, and I think they're quite appropriate. What they need to be classified as is domestic terrorists, essentially, going around terrorizing immigrants and minority communities in Great Britain with their sloganeering, hateful messages. You can listen to on social media the videos that they are sharing with all kinds of hateful messages against the religious minorities. And of course, there are some people who think that this is justified, but it is not. Many of these people who they are targeting are ordinary people who go around life providing services to the people. But what is also good is that while you can see the evil of right-wing and extreme right-wing groups across the world, the right-wing groups are full of hate, whether they are in the United States, whether they are in Asia, even in India. You could have seen how the Prime Minister of India during the election campaign said that, oh, if you elect Congress, they will take away the Mangal Sutras of Hindu women and give it to Muslims, generating hate and anger towards a minority to get votes. Because he has nothing to talk about. Look, I did this for you in 10 years. Please vote for me. I deserve voting. That was not his message. His message was, if you elect the oppositions, they will take away the Mangal Sutras from Hindu women and give it to others. They will take away your reservations and give it to others. So right-wing political parties and right-wing demagogues are using hate as their main message, because those who support them, their main currency is hate these days. And you can see that in comments. You will see them in the comments to this video too, as to how these right-wing extremists from all over the world engage in hatred. And this has become a staple. And the impact of this hatred is becoming manifold because of social media. England, unlike in Europe, where there are serious restrictions on freedom of speech, in England and the US, there isn't that much restrictions. So such statements, I don't know what the British government can do. But what they can potentially do is arm the police, and rather than dealing with these thugs with just, none of them, they're just getting charged with some minor charges, and they are getting out immediately on bail. I think when people are writing like this, you should shoot them at least with rubber bullets. And if they feel that there is a genuine consequence to going out there and destroying other people's properties, there is no justification for this kind of behavior, especially in a democracy which claims to have rule of law. You have a problem, go file a case. There is a police which will take care of this. So I think the police needs to get really tougher with these people who go around in public committing violence and have no accountability. Absolutely. How can you beat 50 police officers and no one goes to jail? How can you burn down trucks and buses and destroy property and nobody is being held accountable for it? And most of these thugs are really thugs. They are unemployed. They're living on welfare. They have no jobs. Can you imagine a doctor or an engineer or a professor or a teacher going out there and behaving in such a manner? Obviously not. These are people who do not have stable jobs. These are people who are also from the lower stratas of the society. So the key here is not so much about the rioting. A lot of this is because of globalization. We understand that. A lot of people in developed countries have lost jobs because manufacturing has moved away, and they have not upgraded themselves academically or educationally to be able to get better jobs. And so they are totally frustrated, and so they are open to manipulation by hate mongers and leaders who spread lies about them. But there has to be some mechanism by which we are able to control. So, for example, last month there were riots in Leeds, and there again, the rioting was because the police, the social welfare group was taking away children or a child from a basically a Romana family, and false accusations were again spread that it was Muslims who were rioting, who were not. In fact, the newly elected Muslim leader, there are so many videos of him trying to stop the rioting. And so these kind of false allegations that are being made, there has to be strong consequences to it. And people don't realize that when you riot, you may hurt a few people. That gives nobody anything, but it really undermines the prestige of that country. If you have more riots in London, I can tell you a lot of investment capital will run away from London. If you have riots in Delhi, you will find people running away from Delhi. Why would you want to invest in a country where the police cannot control mobs who can go around killing and burning anybody's properties? So in such countries where people behave like wild animals and go around behaving basically this phenomena of mob violence, where you lose your basic sense of what is right and what is wrong and are carried away by the moment. In such cases, I think the police must act firmly. But more importantly, there has to be a form of accountability for disinformation, because as AI begins to generate images and videos and is even able to use and create deep fake, basically videos and information tools, we are going to see more and more use of disinformation as a tactic to destabilize countries. And as we have argued in the United States, that countries have tried to destabilize American elections and tried to create further tensions between different racial groups. So anyway, so this is the point that I wanted to raise, that those of us who are also on social media should think twice before you instantaneously forward or repost a message. Try to verify its sources, especially on WhatsApp and Telegram. On such social media, people there is no accountability, and you don't even know what the sources are. Sometimes they take old videos and redistribute those videos saying this happened yesterday. Sometimes the videos are 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. And so basically, even ordinary people become part of this mechanism of spreading disinformation and hatred. And so that is the point that I wanted to raise, is that all of us should become more responsible in how we share information on social media. So I hope this conversation was useful to you and you found it interesting and thought-provoking, and hopefully we will all try to be more responsible in how we engage with social media. So please subscribe to Khanversations, share this video with others, like this video, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Until next time, I'm your host, Muqtedar Khan. Take care.